Om Sadashivasamaramabham Shankaracharyamadhyamam Asmadacharyaparyantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Punjab vacation, the prayer was?
Yes, Swamiji. Om Sahanavavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahavijham Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Continue with the first one.
Yeah.
ब्रह्मविदाप्नोति परं तदेशाभ्युक्ता सत्यं ज्ञानमनन्तं ब्रह्म यो वेद नित्यायां परमेभ्यो मन्ये सोऽष्टुदे सर्वान् कामान् सः ब्रह्मणा विपर्जितेति तस्मात् त्वा एतस्मादात्मन आकाश सम्भूत आकाशात् वायुः वायोरग्निः अग्नेरापः अद्य पृथिवी पृथिव्या ओषधयः ओषधीभ्यो अन्नम् अन्नात् पुरुषः स वा एष पुरुषोन्नरसमयः तत्तेदमेव शिरः अयं दक्षिणपक्षः अयमुत्तरपक्षः अयमात्मा इदं पुच्छं प्रतिष्ठा तदर्पेशस्थोको भवति.
Okay, I think that's enough. That will take some time. So we saw last time, to sum up, because there was a gap of 1 week, okay, 2 weeks. We saw what Samanadikarnyam was. To put a technical definition, Bhinna Pravritti Nimittanam Padanam Ekasmin Bimbe Tattiriiya. Different words having different meanings, all referring to one and the same object. The example I gave was big blue fragrant lotus. Similarly, here what is being said is Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahman. So, if the words are in Samanadikarnyam, there will be an adjective relationship between the meaning of the words. Like big blue fragrant. All are adjectives for lotus. However, in the case of Satyam Jnanam Anantam, that adjectival relationship doesn't seem tenable, because how can Anantam be an adjective for anything? Everything I know is Antam, Santam, is limited. What is a limitless thing? Therefore, either you have to dismiss it or go in for Lakshana. And we saw the three types of Lakshanas. One is just simple Gaunartha, like he is a lion in battle, meaning fierce, brave, courageous, ruthless, etc. Gaunam, that's the simple Gaunartha. Then we also saw the more technical ones, Jahal Lakshana, where the word is given up, something associated is brought in. Ajahal Lakshana, where the word is not given up, but something is added to it. Okay. Then we saw Jaha Jahal Lakshana or Bhagatyaga Lakshana, when one part is given up, one part is retained. And in this case, like Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahman, etc., that seems to be the most appropriate Lakshana to use. We use that Anantam Jnanam we took from Jnana Shabda, which can mean knower, known, etc. We negated all that is not Anantam, and we are left with pure consciousness. We saw this elaborately. Similarly, from Satyam, by understanding what Satyam Mithya is, we negated all that is not Anantam. And we came to the conclusion that what is there is existence consciousness without any limits. This much we had seen last time. And I emphasized with that You have to learn to recognize that everything that you do in life is based on mithya. Everything that you do. However sacred it is, however valid it is not real. Now, when I say this, some people may find it difficult to take it in their life. Therefore, in the definition of mithya, there is another definition, not only dependent reality, that which does not exist in the three periods of time is mithya. Trikalam natishtati. Whereas satyam is trikala abhaditam. That can be never negated in the three periods of time. Whereas mithya is taken as something that does not exist for all three periods of time, past, present, future. Taking that definition, you can see that nothing in your life is permanent. Life is full of variables. Ayaram, Gayaram. Things come and go. Yeah. Things come and go. What is permanent in your life? People, relationships, things. Yeah. I told you what used to happen with my mother and me, when she was alive. The last 10 years of her life, she was staying with my sister after my father died, because there is life, children, grandchildren, etc. Here, once I leave home, she's all alone. But she would love visiting. After all, this is her house. So she used to love visiting. And being a typical mom, the first thing she would do is go into the kitchen. And she'll open the door. Okay. Not too bad. Could be a bit better, but okay. I said, Mom, this is a bachelor pad, okay? Then she'll look at something that are not thrown away. Oh my God, that ladle is broken. I used it for 40 years, and you broke it in 1 year. I said, no, it got broken after 41 years of use. Yeah, it's got broken after 41 years of use. Yeah. 40 years it is. 41st year, it broke. Why? Nothing is Nityam. Yeah. Same thing with anything. Any relationship. At least if you can't recognize the pure Mithyatvam, as I'm talking about not real, can you at least start by recognizing the relativity of it? Easier. To look at something like a cell phone and say, hey, this is not real. Yeah, it's not real. It's fact, it's not real. Maybe difficult. But to see that it is relative, it will not be there after 5 years. It will no more be valid, no more upgradation possible. That is easier. Yeah. So to see the relativity at least, to see relationships, my child, 40-year-old Hulk, what are you saying, my child? No, for me he'll always be child. That's your problem. That's why you're having relationship issues. Because you're still treating him like a 5-year-old. You can relate to him as an adult. So, to be able to look at things and at least accept the relativity of it. If you can't accept the unreality of it, start with accepting the complete relativity of everything that you are seeing in life. My child, and the funny thing is, all these people who say that, they will read Omar Khayyam. Your children are not your children. They are the children of humanity. They come through you, but they don't belong to you. Ah, how beautiful, how beautiful. There, when you're reading it, it is beautiful. What happens in your life? They're children of humanity, na? That means they're independent beings. And that independence starts being expressed by the time when the child is a baby itself. You can see that. See relativity. My child, my wife, my husband, my this, everything. Start seeing the relativity. Yeah. To see the relativity becomes very important. If you can't see the relativity, at least, to see the relativity means to bring objectivity into your life. Yeah. If you can't see the relativity, then what type of a life are you leading? Very messy. It becomes a very messy life. If you can see the relativity clearly, the next step of saying, hey, it's not real, is easier. Okay. So this much for that Satyamiti, etc. All that I have covered up to now. Any questions, clarifications before I go ahead?
Swamiji?
Yeah.
To appreciate the limitlessness of existence seems somewhat easier than appreciating the limitlessness of awareness.
Yep.
Any hints you can, or any clues you can give how I can appreciate that better?
Yeah. Good question. See, when you say it's easier to appreciate the limitlessness of existence, you are still conceiving it and looking at it as something like vastness of space. So it's still conceptual, that's why it's easier. Really speaking, it's easier with the eye, because you exist, you are. This is very self-evident. Anyone knows I exist, I am. Who doesn't know this? Without any thinking, without any proof, without any means of knowledge, I am is self-evident. And where is the problem? I am not sure what I am. Therefore, on the basis of my body, my mind, the knowledge that I have, the upbringing that I have had, the work that I do, the relationships that I got involved with all this, based on all this, I will have certain conclusions about what I am. All these conclusions are going to be finite, because they are from standpoints: professional, personal, hobbies wise, they'll all be that way. Now, the thing is, from this I, the whole conceptual being, because it's a conceptual being, what you have is a concept of what you are. Start negating all the concepts. Yeah, the husband that I am is dependent on me, but I am more than just a husband. Yeah. I mean, I am a husband only to this woman, not to the whole world. Thank God. Okay. Yeah. One wife you find it difficult to handle. Imagine what would happen. हालत ही हो जाएगा. So, keeping that in mind, we have the limited function, draw. Limited roles, draw. Body, mind, but not I. So, keep negating everything. This much you can do by yourself. Then this I that is left behind. See, you have done tyaga one aspect, negated one aspect. then what is left behind that I, where Parisishta Atma, as you say, that I is nothing but limitless consciousness, is part of the teaching. You have to see how time and space doesn't affect it. We have seen that before. How time does not affect I consciousness. How space does not affect I consciousness. To quickly sum up, time. What is this thing that we call time? By definition, it's a gap between two events. Agrarian society, sunrise, sunset, both ho gaya. World, you woke up with sun before sunrise, you slept after sunset. You woke up before the sun came up and you welcome the sun. You will worship of Ishvara, keeping sun as the symbol, offering arghya, etc. And did the same in the evening and had your dinner, day is over. It was simple, agrarian society. Then as life became more complex, you started defining events differently. Finally, two impulses of a quartz. All of us are wearing quartz watches. Sorry, some of us are changing into digital and other things. Okay. But I think there also is a chip and a quartz involved in it. Where does the power source come from? Okay. Anyway, that apart. Gap between two events. However small the events are. No event without an observer. Science. So gap between two events becomes gap between two observations. In the observer, two observation is two thoughts. So gap, when I look at myself through two thoughts, I get this thing called time. This concept called time. So I, the consciousness, is the basis of time, because you are looking at me through the thoughts. Because what is to connect one thought and the second thought? One observation, second observation. I am connecting it up. What am I? The consciousness. Therefore, I am the truth of time. Time doesn't affect me. In fact, time doesn't affect my mind also. No? It can affect my brain. अभी बुढ़ा बन गया यार, याद नहीं है. But that yaad nahi hai is only for immediate past, okay? Distant past you remember very well. Ask an old man, sir, how are you? I'm fine, but I remember, when I got married, all that he'll remember very, very clearly. Immediate past he may forget. Okay, doesn't matter. Affect your brain, not you, the mind. Mind it doesn't affect, you it doesn't affect. Body of course will affect, it's meant to be affected. Therefore, this time factor does not affect I consciousness. I am the truth of time. And if I am the truth of time, space is included, because space-time continuum is one. There is no space-time as different. They are both one and the same entities. Therefore, time and space is one. It's very interesting. How do you recognize space? Very interesting. How do you recognize space? What is your means of knowledge to know space? Perception?
Yeah.
If it is your eyes, if it is your visual perception, then the blind wouldn't have an understanding of space. But they have, better than you and me sometimes. Are they hearing space? So how are they recognizing space? Space is recognized directly by you, the witness, the sakshi. The consciousness through the mind directly witnesses it. Which brings us to the question, space is inside or outside? Really speaking, space is a concept projected outside. May not be of my individual mind, the total mind. So the space can affect my body, my mind. cannot affect me, the consciousness. So when all this I clarify in my mind, the fact that I am limitlessness becomes clearer and clearer. Anantam Satyam, Anantam Jnanam. Therefore, what am I? Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. I am that Brahman with his Satyam Jnanam Anantam, otherwise known as the Atma. The same thing. The word Brahman is used to bring in totality, that's all. Therefore, this existence consciousness, which is limitless, is my nature. That's why he said, Yo Veda Nihitam Guhayam, who is hidden in the cave of your heart. It's an expression, it's a poetical expression. Okay? Where you say the core of your personality, where you sense the I. Even though we know I is a concept, isn't it? We just talked about I being a concept. Before we know the truth, we have a conceptual I. So conceptual, you should say I here. But do you feel I here or do you feel I here? Where do you feel? Even if you are an intellectual, do you feel I here? I. No, I. मैं हूँ ना. So, wherever you feel it, doesn't matter. If you start feeling it here, I am fine with that also. We will say Buddhi Guhaya. No problems. So, Yo Veda Nihitam Guhaya, that is manifest in the I. Yo Veda, who knows. Param apnoti. So, Ashnute Sarvan Kaman Saha, he remains with all desires as good as fulfilled. What do you mean as good as? Why do you want a desire? Why do you have a desire? I want this, I want that. For what? For the sake of the thing? I mean, do you really want a thing for the sake of the thing? Or do you want so that I will feel happy and fulfilled? I want it because in the presence of that thing, I feel happier. Therefore, I love the thing. If I start feeling unhappy, what will happen? I love you will become I love you. You go your way, I go my way. Atmanastu kamaya sarvam priyam bhavati. Is not being cynical, it is recognizing a fact of life. That everything is dear to you because in the presence of that you feel happy. If you feel miserable, you wouldn't want to be. Unless there are some psychological issues. We have seen people getting stuck in very unhappy situation, etc. There are psychological issues that involve there, dependency, codependency, all those things come into the picture. Yeah. That means what? When you recognize your Anantam, you are really speaking, this Anantam, when manifest in your mind, is experienced as joy and fulfillment. However miserable a person's life is, there are moments of joy, isn't it? Any one of us. Think of the most miserable period in your life. There would have been moments of joy at that time. My old example. Here is a guy. Morning, he's getting ready for work. His wife gives him a sheaf of papers. Here, what is this? Divorce papers, please sign it. What? I thought we were happy together. No, I've been miserable. Can we talk about it in the evening when I get back from work? There's nothing to talk. I won't be here in the evening. Let's not make a scene, okay? This is modern. Okay. Let's not make a scene. So he's upset, this, that, etc. He drives to work, feeling very upset about things. I mean, he's been blindsided, so understandable. In that frustration, anger, he picks up a fight with his boss. Well, if that's why you're fired, you'll get your 1 month pay and you go. Personal life gone, professional life gone. Worried, anxious, upset, he is driving home, meets with an accident, wakes up in the hospital. A broken rib, a broken leg. His friend, his colleague comes to know of it. He is going to cheer him up. What is there to cheer him up? How do you cheer him up? Personal life is gone, professional life is gone, health is gone. I mean, how do you cheer this guy up? Really, give it a thought. How do you cheer him up? I mean, there are psychological methods of empathy and all that. So this guy does what a typical man will do. Hey man, you're looking good. Looking good. Strapped. Ribs are strapped. One leg is cast in a plaster with a weight hanging. You're looking good. What looking good? Typical male expressions. And then what he does? I mean, he also knows there's nothing he can say to cheer him up. Crack a joke. And the guy laughs. Holding on to his ribs, he is laughing now. There is nothing right in his life. What is the laughter? Where is the laughter coming from? That joy, when he is laughing, of course there is joy. Momentary, but it is there. Where is it coming from? Can't be from the world outside. The world outside is mess for him. It can't be from inside. Inside his mind is full of all worry, anxiety, this, that, etc. Where is it coming from? You, Anantam, when your mind, which is full of all these issues, is given a clearance by a joke, a stupid joke, the Ananda that you are manifest, meaning the limitlessness of your nature gets a clearance from your mind and it manifests. So he says the one who knows it directly is always Ananda. He is always Ananda. Anantam he is, so for Ananda. Ananta actually means Ananda. Okay. Experiential word is Ananda. Well, you are a fulfilled being. Life can be miserable, that's a different thing. Like my old story again. Buddha declared, the flowers are showered for Ananda. That's a Buddhist poetic way of saying Ananda now is a realized soul, his student. So all the other students go along. Because one of us, come on, Buddha, you put him on a pedestal. But one of us has got it. So he goes, Ananda, now that you are a realized soul, how you find the world? As miserable as ever. World doesn't change, the world is going to be the same. You are Ananda. So Ananda can go through a difficult experience, Ananda. Ananda can go through a happy experience, Ananda. A miserable experience, Ananda. A tragic experience, Ananda. Empathize with the tragedy around you, with the people around you who are feeling it is a tragedy. Don't go to a funeral and say, after all I am a Vedantin, where is birth, where is death? Idiot. If I am around, you'll get a whack on this. You'll get a whack from me if he says that. Empathize with the grief of the people around. But you are Ananda inside. That doesn't change. Ananda can empathize with anything. What's the problem? You are Ananda, no? You can empathize with grief. You're not going to say, I don't know what grief is about. Hey, you're a human being. You were miserable last year. We know that well. We know what grief is about. You are human enough to have all human emotions. But Ananda, this is the state of a person who understands Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahman. You cannot understand Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahman in the third person. It has to be taken as I. And what brings in the I into the picture is the word Jnanam. Jnanam brings I into the picture because what is the source of knowledge other than you? Who is the knower other than you? Therefore, Anantam Jnanam, Anantam Satyam. That is your true nature. Once you understood that, man, what is there to be done? Nothing. Let's go and have a cup of coffee. Or kya? Few more minutes. Class has to get over. Yeah. You're fine. Yeah. Life won't change. World won't change. But you are fulfilled. You are no more dependent on your experiences for Ananda. This is important to understand. All of us look through Ananda through things and experiences. Our generation, we looked at it through things. You want a house, you want this, you want this. It's all things. Younger generation, things are already there. So, experiences. Everything is an experience. In fact, flats are also, apartments are also advertised like that. Have a great experience living in this flat. Come to a holiday experience every day, whatever you are advertising. Why? Because they know younger generations after experiences. So, how will you get them to buy a house? Present it as an experience. So, we are all looking for Ananda through experiences, through things, through people, through possessions. All this is a headache. I give up everything. Another one. This is no more connected with those things. This is in spite of all those things, you are Ananda. So you can afford to have any experience. Who said you can't have a miserable experiences and not be happy? Trekkers understand this very well. Those who go on a trek, wet clothes, the backpack strap cutting into your shoulders. I thought this was padded, but they look like the padding is gone. The padding is not gone. You have been carrying it for a long time, that's all. Blistered feet, food that you would never look at home. But you come back and say, "Bahut maja." It was great fun. What was great fun? Half burnt food, blistered feet, aching shoulders, wet clothes. What was fun? Everything was fun. That means what? Your Ananda is not dependent on an experience, really speaking. We mistake it that way. And therefore, we want to repeat an experience. And you find that when you are repeating an experience, laws of economics come into the picture. The law of diminishing returns. The first laddu is tasteful. Diwali, all of you, after some time you don't want to eat sweets anymore. Give me something spicy, I've eaten too much of sweets. Why? Because you don't want anything anymore. Diminishing returns. After 10 days, then I'll enjoy it. Why? Because now the satiation is gone. You're looking at something fresh. Experiences are like that. Therefore, Vedanta is not another experience. Yeah, it's not another experience. Vedanta is discovering the truth of yourself as Ananda. That there is only Ananda in the world is yourself. That's why all sadhus are called Ananda, you know. Some Ananda they will be called because they are supposed to have been there, okay. Then how will you recognize one Ananda from another Ananda? Everyone is Ananda. So you will add some prefix to that, Ananda. Brahmananda, Atmananda, Vidyananda, Moodhananda. Sorry, not Moodhananda. No, not Moodhananda, but something. Yeah. I know one of my students was a very quiet person. So when given sannyasa, Swamiji was joking with her, and saying, we can call you Maunananda. And then with a smile he's looking at me. How do you like it? It's my student taking sannyasa. Swamiji, any name that comes from you is great. And that person is going, oh my God, Maunananda, no. No. Pulling her legs, okay. The idea is that once you know this, yo veda nihitam guhayam, yo veda, who knows it as manifest in your heart as I, that Brahman that you are seeking, that seeking itself is negated. Because the seeking itself is a denial of the fact of what you are. Therefore, don't hold on to the seeker identity also. I am a seeker, I am a serious seeker. If you hold on to the seeker identity, you will not get it. This youngster came to me many years ago. I was the 9th person he was going to. And he came and told me, Swamiji, with all this 10 years of experience of seeking, I think you are the right person for. I said, maybe. And I was thinking, maybe I am the right person for him, but is he the right person for learning? After some time, he got upset with me and walked away. After that, he has had 3 more teachers. I am keeping track. I mean, not as a great effort, but things, I keep hearing things. After all, the spiritual world is a small world. Yes, and 3 teachers after that. Why? Because seeker identity is strong. I am a seeker, so I am good. So the teacher will validate and welcome him. After some time, the teacher will have to point out something. Oh, how can he say like that? I am a seeker. Yeah, you are a seeker, theek hai, rehwa de. But there is a problem there. So the teacher has to point out. So he points out, he gets upset. Because his seeker identity is being challenged now. The seeking itself is a denial of the fact of what you are. Okay, so I'll give up seeking, then also you won't get it. Seek, you won't get. Don't seek, you won't get. That seeking has to be converted to knowing. That I have to know the truth of what I am. Mumukshutvam, the desire for moksha, should get converted into jignasa, the desire to know the truth. That's why he says, yo veda nihitam guhayam, so ashnute sarvan kaman saha, is as though all his desires have been fulfilled. Not that all his desires are going to be fulfilled. I am a wise person now. You just think of it, you will manifest it. This is all new age nonsense that's going around, okay? I am saying all this because these are the modern Purvapakshas in Vedanta. You will manifest what you are. I am saying, you are a wise person, all your desires are as good as fulfilled. All desires are meant for Ananda. You are Ananda. Abhi kya desire rahega? It can be simple desires. Chalo, let's have a cup of tea. Or let us go for some bhelpuri. Simple desires will be there. What's a big deal about it? You can happily go in for that. But it is not that because you are a wise person and you make a satya sankalpa, you will manifest your desire. Problem ho jayega. So, that is not what Vedanta is talking about. Vedanta is not talking about manifesting anything. What comes to you will be based on your karma and other people's karma. The moment you are a wise person, or even for others also, but mainly for a wise person, it's not only your karma, it's called anyecha prarabdha. Other people's karma also will start affecting you. Natural. Because we are living in a matrix of karma. Yeah. So, what you get out of life will be based on these karmas, etc. What type of experience you will face, etc. Sometimes you can be happy, sometimes you can be miserable. Yeah. You think wise people manifest heart attacks? What? They get heart attacks. You think they are manifesting heart attacks? Yeah, they are. With too much of social eating. Every day you are eating with some student and piling on all the high cholesterol foods, naturally you get. But there is no other manifestation, okay? Yeah. If manifesting of desires is presented as the ability of a wise person, everyone will want to be a wise person. Why? I can manifest this. And if you are like that, you will never become wise, I am telling you. You are too dependent on things for your happiness. You are too dependent on experiences for your happiness. There is nothing wrong in getting happiness from things. There is nothing wrong in that. You have the ability to enjoy things, fine, great. Nothing wrong. But if you are dependent on that, then it's an issue. Yeah. Because if you don't get it, you will be miserable. If you get it, you will be in your seventh heaven of delight. Or after some time, you will get bored of them and think, now what? It becomes problematic. Yeah. So here it is, if you know the truth about yourself, so ashnute sarvan kaman saha, is as though all his desires has been fulfilled. As though. Why? Because desires fulfilled or not fulfilled, you are Ananda. Gita says the same thing. Apuryamanam achala pratishtam samudramapa pravishanti yadvat. Like whether the rivers enter the ocean or don't enter the ocean. The ocean is full and complete. The ocean is the same whether it's roaring with waves like in the monsoon or in a gale, in a storm, or calm as a mill pond. Ocean is full and complete. Similarly, the wise person means what? All of you, okay? In time. Pending discovery, every one of you. Whether you are calm as a mill pond or roaring with laughter or engaging in a battle, being with your beloved, you are Ananda. So Ananda is with the beloved. Okay, it's a different type of experience. Ananda is in a battle, a different type of experience. Yeah, two completely different types. Or maybe not that different. What difference does it make? You are Ananda. You can enjoy both. Yeah. Swamiji, how did you handle COVID times? What is there to handle? मस्त राम बाबा होके बैठ जाओ घर में और क्या है? 3 months lockdown, so did a lot. You think the lockdown is going to stop me from doing what I have to do? Classes went on online. Whoever I could help with COVID, this, that, etc., went on. Raising funds for the poor people who are affected by COVID, those who are going home, whatever you could do, you do. Or kya? Difficult situation. But you are Ananda. What's the problem? What if you get COVID? You get COVID, you get COVID. What do you want to do? You want to live forever? Or? You are already going to be there forever anyway as consciousness. Are you getting the idea? It's fine. Any experience is okay. It's a big deal. Be thankful that you lived through it. What do you mean thankful? Array, epidemics happen once in pandemics like this happen once in 100 years. So for such a major pandemic, People have to wait another 100 years. Probably your great-grandchild will live through it. What happens in between generations? No experience of pandemic, okay? Experience hunters, good experience, no? Samajhi, not this one. Then, why not? A vice person will take this also a good experience. Achha. We knew what happened. All the data of the last pandemic is not available. If it is available, it is outdated, not worth it. So you look at it. I mean, how you look at an experience will depend upon your background. You are Ananda, you are fine. Then you are looking at an experience. This pandemic was different. What is different? Normally a virus will mutate itself and become less lethal. Why it becomes less lethal? Because if the host survives, I will survive. If the host doesn't survive, the virus will also not survive. But this virus behaved differently. When it mutated, the first major mutation, it became more lethal. First pandemic, it was a heavy particle. Virus was heavy. So you have to be careful where you touch or don't touch. Second one, it was more infective. That's why everyone had to wear good mask, not a simple cloth mask. And it was more lethal. That was surprising. Because normally it becomes less lethal. So the scientists can study that, why it became more lethal. What is the aberration there? After that, now it is just like a cough and cold if you get COVID. Which is expected. Now you look at it just an experience. You are Ananda going through an experience. What's the big deal about it? Just an experience. But if you are judging yourself and your mental state by the experience you are going through, then you can be miserable. Locked at home, yaar, I'm locked at home. Okay, locked at home, you didn't like to be locked at home, no? Working from home, so miserable. Okay, now the company says, come back to work, come back to work. No, I don't want to go back. Why is that? Why is that? You're cribbing about it when you had to do it. And now when you're getting a chance to get back to office, sir, at least 2 days we should be able to work from home. Why? We look before and after and pine for what is not. This is typical human mind. Why? Because we are always projecting Ananda outside. Ananda is out there, I have to get it. And because we keep projecting it outside, we are always looking forward, backward. No? That was great. Oh, when I get that, that will be great. Now, I don't know. You are fulfilled being right now, pending discovery. That's why this Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahman is a Mahavakya. What is a Mahavakya? Akhandartha Bodhakam Vakyam Mahavakyam. A Vakya that reveals that you are the limitless Ananda, that you can't be divided. You are limitlessness. That is called a Mahavakya. Satyam Jnanam Anantam is, if you are reading all your academic works, it is not mentioned there. More of that in the camp in Rishikesh, okay? We will see 10, 12 Mahavakyas. So, the whole thing. In fact, Taittiriiya is complete. Then what's remaining in Taittiriiya? Oh, a lot of verses are remaining. Tasmad, etasmad, atmanaha, akasha, sambhuta, etc. Because it is clear Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahman. If you are clear about it, it is complete, no need for anything else. But the human mind is funny. Look at the world. When I open my eyes, I see the world. Satyam Mithya is not yet clear. If Satyam Mithya is not yet clear, you want to know from where the world has come, how it has come, how is it standing against me? Because it's an experiential reality for you all. World is an experiential reality. So vice person is only experiential. What is experiential is not real. If Satya Mithya is clear, you will say whatever is experiential is not real. How do you say that? You walk on a flat earth or a round earth? Round earth, no? We all know earth is round. But are you balancing on a ball when you are walking? What is your experience? Flat earth. Not real. You look up, see the curve of the horizon, the blue sky curve is neither blue nor is it curved. Right? So are you seeing inky blackness of space? No, you are seeing a blue. The blue canopy curving over the horizon. What curving? There is no curve in space. So experience is what? False. Not real. So then you see a rising sun. You go all the way to Kanyakumari to see sunrise and sunset. You can enjoy it in Bombay also if you know how to enjoy it. I once remember taking a photograph and posting it as my picture on as my screen on my phone. Where was this? Kanyakumari? Bombay. You enjoy it. It doesn't rise, it doesn't set. The sun doesn't rise nor does it set. Correct or not? So all your experience is false. I feel I am finite, false. I feel I am miserable, false. Sometimes I am happy, sometimes I am sorrowful, false. Because experiential. See, this is the thinking in our minds. All experience is real. This has to go. Experience is based most of the time on false things. Even relatively speaking, it's based on false things. Yeah. Samji, I love chocolate. Really? Pure chocolate? Yes, yes, pure chocolate. You won't be able to eat it. One of my young students, she loves pure black chocolate, 100% dark. Samji, I love this so much. And for Diwali, I want to gift it to you because I love it so much. I want to gift you something I love. I said, thank you, Betty. That's very sweet of you. But 100%? How many people enjoy 100% black? If any of you have doubt, come home and I'll give you 100% black. So I offer some milk to the Lord as prasada with some sugar in it. So in that milk, I'll put a little bit of milk. I'll put one piece of dark chocolate, 100%. Now it tastes good. 70-80% most people enjoy. So anything you're saying, experiential, false, based on a false premise. Based on a false premise. All experiences are false. I am making a statement on the other way around. Yeah. Because unless the limitless I appears as a finite being and appears as a finite world, there can be no experience. So all experiences are based on false things. No experience is true. They are only relatively true, relatively valid for the time being. So that when I walk on the road, I don't have to start balancing on a ball. Good. With the road being what it is, with all the repair work going on, all the metro work going on, if I had to start balancing on a ball on top of it, add it. But in our mind, we take whatever we experience is real. That has to go. Whatever we experience is false. At least if not false, relative. Start with them and build up to falseness. By seeing all these examples that I gave you, all is false. No? You can't even say relative, it's false. You can't say flat earth is a relative phenomenon. It's false. It's nothing relative about it. So when that is clearer, Vedanta will become clearer. This whole statement, Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma, Yo Veda Nihitam Guhayam So Ashnute Sarvan Kaman Saha. To back it up, you need to see the falsity of your experiences. And all my self-judgment about myself and the world is purely based on experience. So the Upanishad goes there now and tries to handle your experience and show that the whole world that you have taken as real is really based on Brahman alone. So he's going about it elaborately. Not only the world, the one who looks at the world, the experiencer and the experience, both he takes and shows it is not true. Not true because it is based on Brahman, I, consciousness. So then remaining verses, let elaborate. All that panchakoshas, etc. come here. No, all this that you take. The foot sheath, bliss sheath, all that thing, no, that you will talk about. All of that is from here, Taittiriiya. So it handles all of that to show that everything is based on Brahman. Therefore, everything is a dependent reality. Brahman is you Brahman is only absolute reality in the world. So what does it do? The remaining verses are elaborating this first line in a more elaborate manner. It's showing the whole thing. But that we will see next class. Okay, good place to stop. Okay. Om Tat Sat.